Hey everyone, Brento here. Thank God I only have to do these unique intro lines for one season, or else they'd start getting pretty lame as I run out of material. Yeah, that's a terrible one. I just put that one up there just as to set the bar low going forward. I thought of that one like 3 weeks ago because I knew eventually I would run out of material. I have some better ones. I have better ones. I just put that one out there because I don't know. There's going to be a lot of these done, right? I figured at some point volume is going to be a problem, so I gotta. I just write them down and I read them later. Okay, that's just how it works. I don't I don't necessarily like what I'm reading. But anyways, back to the world here. Look what we got, a GG1 train. It's we finally built our. This isn't going super fast motion. That's just how fast that train is. And winter's about to start, as you notice from the snow. So I've been having some issues in recent episodes where um, basically the FPS gets pretty bad after like an hour or so. And I've set up a new contraption here. I got like a fan, and I've got like a bunch of metal underneath my laptop here, and it's close to the exhaust fan of the video card. So maybe it'll cool it off, and that will survive an episode at like up to 2 hours. Like again, these I'm recording 2-3 hours. By the time this is fully published, it'll be probably trimmed to be much shorter. But losing half your show because of an FPS issue, that's that really sucks. Like it's 2 episodes in a row now. And the thing is, it happened in one of the episodes. I ran a test, I streamed, and it seemed to be fixed, right? I lowered the resolution, and then the next episode it still happened again. So I don't know if it's because while I'm streaming and recording is the issue. Maybe I'll just do some recordings. If that's the case. But I've also lowered the graphics setting to like the lowest possible in addition to this fan cooling my machine. So um, audio's been pretty good. No complaints with audio for a few episodes. This Blue Yeti's been holding up. I think the quality's good. It's completely filtering out the sound of the fan right now. Like this fan it should be audible. Like you should be able to hear it in the background, but and it's like 4 feet away and you can't. So good for the Yeti on that to filter that. In this episode, we're going to okay. So part of the problem with the recent episodes, 2 episodes, I lost a bit at the end. I was just doing some road building, which I thought were just a fun way to end an episode because sometimes it's just relaxing to watch road building. But last episode, we had a kind of a lot of things get finished in the city at once, and it's gone. It's just the FPS was so bad that I filmed a little bit afterwards because I had a suspicion that, like, based on the file size, there was some issues to summarize what happened. But a long story short, most of our facilities are done here. Our hospital, our sports hall, cinema, our mall, our church. There's schools, everything's done here. We're working on the police now, and we're even like our orphanage is being developed here, and the city should, in theory, be able to survive the winter. Well, one thing I've done is I've created a route here where I've set up these heat workers here. So you check this line out here. It's they're picking up people from Canada, and then they're going to work in the heat plant. Okay, I don't know if we have enough reliable workers in the city. Just in case, we want to see if we can get our population to stick this year. So as you know, we had an earthquake when the game started in 1960. It's now 1967. The city pretty much abandoned itself. We've tried bringing a few people in each year, but they tend to leave, and they've definitely not stayed a winter. So the objective of this episode, there was actually a different agenda, but I think given how much playtime I've had, like I haven't had much playtime between episodes. This is almost a continuation of the last episode. Um, the idea here is to survive the winter and not lose all our people. Like that's a big step forward. Once you, it's that's like gaining followers or gaining subscribers. As soon as you can get one, you can get 100, right? It's just a matter of impressions and recommendations and whatnot. If you like a show, other people might like a show too, right? So if a person's willing to stay in a city, other people are willing to stay in the city, is what it comes down to. So we had higher happiness rates earlier. There was a bit of a problem. Like I played a little bit between episodes, a few hours, and we had an electrical issue at one of these, specifically this pump here, or not, or yeah, this sewage pump didn't have electricity, so we had a sewage back. Just this one little problem caused a full sewage backup in the whole city, and it late in fall there was some people a little happy because there was sewage issues in the city. Right now, I am a little concerned about how many heat workers are going to be able to make it on time. I just switched it over. This is going to hurt us a bit, but other than the cold, they're not super angry here. If you look here at some of these houses, see this area here? When the objective of survival in this game is to have citizens that don't complain, and they get happier and happier over time. Very hard for them to get happier in winter because winter sucks, but we'll see if we can keep some population for next year. One of the things we got to watch for here, though, you want to make sure all the facilities have workers, all the critical facilities, which they do still. So in theory, that's the key to survival here. Our university starting to research. Obviously, we're doing waste processing right off the bat here. It's at 27%, going at a fair rate. So that's good. But for some reason, no one's showing up for work in the heating plant. I guess it's because the snowplows are, of course, it snows right away, and there's snowplows not clearing the roads. So they're, although there's a ton of them queued up, they still haven't arrived yet. So that's gonna be a bit of a problem, but not much I can do about that. They can only move so fast. I don't think we have any other ways of getting workers. Like we don't have like surplus workers at the bus stops here, so we can't really find other workers other than at the border, like the immigrants. So we're kind of gonna have to deal with a little bit of chilliness for until some of the snow gets plowed here. Other thing I want to catch up on is the stuff going out in the other parts of the world. China's still rebuilding this technical service facility, which, immediately caught fire in its first year. That's kind of their project right now. The Houston construction office is helping them out a bit. There's a bit of highway being built here, but nothing too exciting. I think after we get a garbage processor, we're going to have to make a beeline to make a refinery. I started sort of planning how our oil wells are going to integrate with our refinery here. And as you know, like half this show is playing a video game, the other half is me complaining about things or telling you jokes or just stupid stuff. I got a few stupid things for this episode. Yeah, a few interesting ideas, original ideas. They're all original. I don't do anything. I don't react to other people's shows, okay? And I know that's like the formula, it seems, for success is either A, you got a group of people that put together real shows, with research, and you're making money on it somehow, and or you react to these shows, right? You're a cult of personality, and basically you just react and you add to it. But that's not as people who react to shows, it's not as impressive as those who make real shows. This isn't a real show, but this is somewhere in between, right? There is some original ideas on this show. The show itself is a little different. Again, it's the joy of video gaming. It's supposed to be strangely compelling to listen to. Uh, I only have 6 subscribers on YouTube as of this recording, but I am going to start promoting it afterwards. I haven't done any promotion yet, so I'm going to have a few weeks where I'll be able to do stuff like that. So maybe that'll go up by the time this airs. I have to promote myself. Like, I definitely just got to get in there and trash talk people on Reddit, and get on Twitter/X and get a few posts out there and go get in people's faces. So get some viewers, because if it's a good show, I'm doing people a disservice by not letting them know about it. There won't be too much ranting in this episode about fake jobs and the economy, and how the people at the top waste our money, and give themselves money, and basically are ruining the nation, right? We're planning. So one of the premises in this game, in case you haven't been following the series, is we are simulating the economic collapse of the United States, and this is a money game, right? And how you manage your money, how you spend it. You can give everyone the best of everything, and you can live a happy life. But if you can't, cover your own costs, like the concept of a society that consumes and that is serving the world is a lie. That a society that gets accustomed to consuming more than it produces definitely will collapse, because at some point the people that produce the stuff for you go, well, what do we get for it? Why am I working so hard? What's the return for me, right? And if there is no return, then the price of things eventually just goes up, and there's no way around it. And right now, if you look at the U.S., look at electronics manufacturing in the U.S. If the U.S. doesn't understand that it's nowhere close to as good as China in that industry, at least, that they really have no alternatives. Like these electronics, like a Nintendo, for example, the Switches. I saw the other day, none of it's made in the U.S., yet Americans consume it like candy. And I think that's not a good sign. Like if you don't even make the stuff that you consume, and it's one of the, that's a big seller. That's up there. That's a pretty big, how do you make money on that? Is it just a bunch of middlemen at the top of Nintendo USA that get all the money, and they just have some other country make it? Now, at some point, you can't just print money and say, well, that's how our economy works. We just print money, right? That there's no other consideration of efficiency, or how to distribute the money, trusting that other people will distribute it. One of the biggest mistakes of free market capitalism is this belief that it trickles down, and that other people will spend accordingly and treat other people with respect. But that's actually not true. Think about getting a job, right? For you to not starve in the streets, A, you must pass a job interview. B, you must convince them that you're worth enough money, that they pay you enough money that it's worth your time, right? But it's so strange that should be like you depend on someone else, right? And the private, usually just an individual, it's not a top-down authority that dictates whether you should die in the street or not. It's just someone else who decides it. And if you think that everyone's an honest, fair, rational actor and they're going to have your best interests in mind, that's delusional. There are some people out there, most people, in fact, are just very selfish. They want to, they would rather not hire you. And when they do hire, they want to pay you as little as possible. So this whole notion of like economy taking care of itself, it doesn't really. It takes it according to some people. The people at the top think it works fine. If you got a good paying job, a happy life, you think everything's fine, but you're in the minority. And that this show is here to point that out. That not everyone like agrees with your philosophies, and that the things should be like UBI, for example. That's a necessity. That takes out that middleman deciding whether you starve or not. So yeah, that's an early rant. Okay, I do that in the show. That's half the show actually. But we got to play some video games too. Okay, we can't just do ranting. We can't and we can't just do video games. If it's too much, you walk away. There's no story. You know, again, I was gonna call this channel Storyteller, but I decided not to. I decided to the ranting, the dumping on stupid people and stupid ideas was probably and there's other reasons. Like we're building a city that's going to be basically a dump with houses in it. So that's the other theme of it. It's a bit funny. I got some funny stuff for later too. I got some interesting funny ideas. I'll save them for later. Definitely some comedic clips coming up. Original stuff. If you're a comedian, you can steal some of it. I'd hope some comedians watch this. That shit, like YouTube, target comedians. Impressions for comedians. Thank you. I don't know who it gives impressions to. I assume it has some intelligence to, it's not giving it to bankers, I hope. I don't think bankers would like this show too much. They would have some concerns where it would cause them to rage, some of the stuff I say, I suppose. But let's just have an hour city, keep an eye on things. Yeah, I think we're going to have to look at this here. So I've set up a synchronized schedule here. They're supposed to come into the heating plant at a fixed interval of 45 seconds. Okay, so when this one shows up, there should be 145 seconds, but I don't know why. There's 10 of them on this route. Where are they? Why aren't they... Like, this route isn't that long. Is there issues at the border? Is there a lineup at the border? Let's have a look here. Nope, no issues at the border. Ooh, we got a lot of people just idle there. What about here? Ooh, we got one too many buses. Okay, let's move this bus to this construction office here. Like, we don't need 122 Canadians making YouTube channels. That's too many. Too many. We can only have so many. That's that's how free markets work, right? I think I'm a little low on the screen here. I think I'm slightly low. I'm going to adjust this just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Just a bit here. Just a little bit. Just because it feels like I'm a bit low. I think that's a little better. Again, this I've actually got my laptop on top of a metal box and a fan beside it, so it's better air circulation, so it doesn't overheat. We want to survive 2 hours. See if 2 hours of recording. See, if you're watching this might be a 30-minute show. Maybe it's an hour show. Maybe it's 90 minutes. But I want 2 hours of recording either way. And the last 2 episodes haven't been able to survive that long, right? So we're surviving the winter here, and we're surviving an episode. And we're going to have to survive our economic collapse here, too. Yeah, I'm only going to borrow 100,000. The rubles are Like, I'm not boring. Oh, it's up to 2.1. This was 2%. It's gone up a little bit. There was something I wanted to do in this episode, but winter came up, so it's not. I think we're going to just call this episode Survival. It's just the timing of winter changes a little. The next episode will be what this episode should have been. And given we're trying to survive with good audio and good video, like we've had a good video at early on the series. I don't know why there were no issues. Like the city is getting bigger, but it's not that huge. Like it's not even self-sustaining yet. But the audio's been good now for a while. So I'm getting comfortable with settings. I'm learning a little bit each day. Again, I'm going to work on promoting between episodes, and I'm going to get to do at least one stream only recording. So we might be 1 year in advance by the next show after this one. So that'll explain that. But yeah, we're just trying to survive here. We want to get this steady supply of heat workers in. Okay, now they're... Okay, this guy... Okay, let's test this out. Let's make sure this is working. Maybe... Like, I just set this up, this synchronized line, just before, you know, basically recording, because I don't have much time between episodes. So they're supposed to... This truck here is supposed to leave 45 seconds after this one. But this one might have left 45 seconds ago. So let's just see. We can see the next one coming up shortly. Okay, so let's see how long this guy waits here. See this guy up here in the corner? Can you see the cursor? Okay, so he went by here. Okay, now this next one, by the time this next one leaves, this one needs to be right here. Okay, let's just check here. There's 7 in right now. That's good. We want all 7. I made room for 14 in case there's a bit extra. But this keeps the heat going non-stop, right? See, they're coming in too fast almost. See, now that's kind of silly. We had not enough heat. Now there's too many heat workers. I don't know how much it buffers it up, but we'll see. If this is overflowing with workers, I'm going to increase the interval to more than 45 seconds. See, look at these two. They're back to back. That's no good. We gotta, you know, this is actually something, maybe I'll clip this as a bit of a tutorial of the game. I put 1 or 2 tutorials in the episodes. Just, it's kind of interesting, even if you don't know the game, just understanding how this works with the, you know, the end station. That's what end stations do. They synchronize your vehicles, right? It's an interesting thing, even if you don't know how this game works. It's called Soviet Republic, by the way, or Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, right? See, look at that. There's too many workers in here. There's 14. I want to have 7. And there's a bunch more going to show up. And, okay, so remember, they have to leave. Like, this guy can't just go in and out. If he goes in and out, this isn't working. There's something wrong with the building. Okay? Well, he could, maybe it's 45 seconds. These next 2 definitely can't. Okay, so this guy goes, did it take 45 seconds to go there? I don't know. Maybe. Because the roads are all snowy, so the vehicles are moving slow. But I'm pretty sure this hasn't been 45 seconds. Like, we know that they can't go back to back here. That's how we're going to know whether this is working. So the first one's waiting a little bit here. Waiting. Okay. So they're supposed to space out. So I think these two, like one of these, couldn't even drop off the workers because it was full. Now, I know, like, the snow on the roads and traffic jams affect all this. Okay, so this one waited a good time before the next one went out. And now this one here should wait to whatever distance that last one went before it got out of the zone. Okay, where's this? What is this guy doing? Why is he going? Oh, is there no gas in here? What's he doing? I don't get that. Why is he going that way? They're not supposed to go that way. Maybe it saw the snow was plowed that way and it can save some time. It seems to be waiting a little bit here. Maybe it just needs some time to synchronize. we'll keep an eye on this, but I don't want to, like, this should never be more than 7 workers. So they're coming too often right now. So, um, yeah, so now it's overflowing again. And now the next one, there aren't any for a while, right? They're getting more heat than, like, I wonder how much it buffers in the heat exchangers. Like, it can't be instantaneous. There has to be some buffer, I imagine. And maybe it would be a little friendlier if the mechanics did have some leniency. Like, it's not like people are instantly cold the moment, the workers don't work here, right? There should be some latent heat in there. But okay, so this is gonna make these next couple. So let's see where this bus is when these leave here. Okay, so they're both parked. Okay, so just there, right there, in snowy conditions. Okay, once these roads get plowed, however, that vehicle could be further away. But and this one will probably wait till it should do the exact same thing. And now they're going to get cold again. But that's whatever. We're trying our best. Let's keep an eye on people here. Okay, so there's still 6 people in the building. 8 in this one. They're not very happy. 26% is not good. Not good. Kindergarten issue. They can't get to kindergarten. There's teachers. I don't know what the excuse is for that. They should be able to walk to the school. We'll have to give them some more paths here later. But there's so many little minor things going on. I queued up. Like I had to add another sewer line right here because there's no sewer coverage anywhere in this part of the city. So, and I think it affects, like, even things like the fire station. It affects I imagine affects the workday. If someone knows, comment below how like sewage and water affects like workplaces. If you know that, comment please. I'd like to know, because it's looking if you got sewer or water, right? It's checking for sewer or water. So but it still works without it. So I imagine it works better with it. So once this this little sewer line here is done, they'll have sewer and water too. Pretty much the whole city. The whole livable city will have sewer once that line's done. So other things like work paths and stuff, they're not super high priority. Oh yeah, I took off this allow repair cancel when full idle. Oh crap. Okay, wait, hold on. I saw this between episodes too. This here this is going to take too long to get repaired. And this garbage truck needs to do some work to keep people happy. Yeah, I don't know why it's even getting repaired. Vehicle is being repaired. Who's repairing it? There's no workers here. I'm going to cancel the repair job for that. The main thing is I want our train to get repaired. See that? Remember we put it in the depot here? And it's attached to the vehicle repair station. There is one bus that still shows up for work here and should be delivering workers. See, we have the Mexican workers are showing up here. Usually the Mexican workers do construction in this game, but and that most of them, like that's where our workers are set up to the for the construction office. We rely on Mexican workers to build the U.S., but some of them are responsible for vehicle repairs. And we want them to work on this train here. See, we brought the train in at the start of the episode. See how fast it was too? Like way faster than the other vehicles. And remember when we bought this for like 70% off? It was like such a good deal. Very old and needs a lot of work. But by the time the rest of our tracks are built, it'll be 100% like zero wear and tear is sort of the goal here. Zero wear and tear. And then, but in the meantime, we're still building our tracks though. Like our track builder is somewhere here. We don't have as many track workers either. So the track, you know, the workers that come here are either building track, uh, creating more gravel, or oh, we're running out of gravel. Okay, we're gonna have to change our gravel source to. I'm gonna set it to Mexico because I don't want the Canadian lineup. You know what? Screw it. We'll make it. If there's a lineup in Canada, there's a lineup in Canada. But we're out of gravel here, so we're gonna have to buy it from Canada. Winter's harsh, right? Survival. We want our people to not move out. We want to have at least 6 citizens. See, these two how in this okay, we got 10, 18, 24. Well, there's 25 people that live at this intersection. And we don't want that to be 0 by February. We want to survive the winter. Survive the winter. It's a good thing we caught that. Also, we're getting bricks from the border right now too, because we don't have enough. Well, we have some workers going in here, but we don't. They're still not producing bricks fast. Like we need to stockpile a few more bricks. We want to have like 100 bricks, and then I'll set the source back to our brick manufacturing. But right now, all our workers are full time, or half our workers are literally just keeping the heat going. And they won't synchronize. See, there's 14 at a time here. And then it gets cold. But now our snowplows are coming up, you know, back to back. So stupid. So stupid how they do that. Like, what? That doesn't make sense how it's one lane, right? I don't think that it plows it anymore. I don't. Hopefully they switch directions here. One turns left, one turns. Okay. Like. Guy goes here. I think he's not supposed to go here though. I thought there was a sign that said don't go forward. See if he turns around. He's supposed to turn around. There is a sign here. Or there was a sign here. Where'd it go? No, this is the sign right here. Why did they go through it? They went through the sign that said no snowplows. It's right here. That's the no snowplow sign. You see that little triangle? No snowplows passed here. What's going on? What's the point of that? It's not... They're not synchronizing and they... Well, maybe they're synchronizing slowly and they're ignoring the signs. I don't know. I don't know. That's part of the game, I guess. We'll see when we... maybe they'll look into... That'll be a bug fix later. I don't know why it did that. That's kind of strange. It would ignore the no snowplow sign. Oh well. Not a huge deal. Winters are tough, very tough. To get enough people to survive the winter, you know, if we have 25 people at this if we have 10 people at this intersection, that's not bad, because we've not had any people by spring ever. Okay, in this game. So, crime's becoming an issue. I noticed that too a little bit after last episode. There is just enough people where there can be some crimes, so we'll have some law enforcement soon. But look at that. That's nice. They're not complaining about anything. 45% happiness for a first winter. That's not bad. That's not bad. Again, they don't make any money right now. They're just surviving. They're like most, Siberian economies. It's not about being necessarily... Like, if you live in a Siberian economy, your objective isn't... Like, you don't have to worry too much about military invasion because you're in Siberia. Who on earth would want Siberia, you know? I hope no one from Siberia hears that. But I'm just, like, I don't know. I mean, it's debatably one of the less desirable places, territories in the world to conquer. But you still have to survive, right? So your economy isn't based so much on, trading with other people and building a military in these regions. It's mostly just survival, right? It's not a key. Like, I would say Moscow is probably a little bit more important than somewhere out in Siberia itself. right? It probably needs a little bit more military in Moscow. Just a guess. Okay. Now I know, there are some places where there are some strategic resources that could be, worth concerning yourself with. But I suspect that most Siberian cities, and a lot of Canada's like that too. Alaska, some of the Nordic, countries in Europe, just surviving is the challenge. It's not easy, right? It's secondary to be profitable, and we'll worry about being profitable in a future episode. Actually, that was kind of what I wanted to do this episode, but it ain't happening. Not on Winter. Like, if I don't give them any heat, we're gonna lose pretty much everyone. I'm pretty sure of that. And then how are we gonna be profitable after that, right? So let's play the game a bit, and then there's definitely two other concepts I want to talk about in the show. Two other somewhat interesting takes on, there used to be on Saturday Night Live this guy called Jack Handy, and it just make one or two sentences of stupid comments, and it was like, what is he gonna say now? I got a few. They're a little like Jack Handy's, unique stuff, not original stuff. Every episode I do has at least one original element to it. Sometimes I just review stuff. I'll talk about a movie or something, or talk about some policy or just something in the world that I think's stupid. But let's just have a check off at our inventories too. Like, it looks like things are happening. Like, I don't know what else they could be doing right now. Like, we really just need this technical office done yesterday. And they just need workers, just workers. So, which is kind of good. It looks like, it might be an idea to bring one of the cranes out here, a road crane. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Like, I don't know what else we're going to build in this area anytime soon. We are having, like, part of the reason we did these road projects was because we had so many rubles, right? And we're starting to borrow rubles. So I don't want to necessarily, like, they can be idle technically, and I like, it's not a big deal. So we won't worry too much about it. I might even next episode not even go over anything out there until our research gets done. Let's just check our university here. 29% researched, waste and processing. Let's check our population real quick here. 6, 14, 24. Hey, everyone's still living there. That's good. That's a good sign. They got high thresholds for wanting to leave. They lose heat now and then, but they don't complain that much. Let's just check here. How's our supplies here? We got, a bit of everything. How's the mall doing? The meat's running a little bit low, but we do have a meat truck here. It's probably grabbing some meat right now. We can follow that, check what's going on with the meat truck. Picking up some meat. And if you're not familiar with the game, these are distribution offices. They kind of manage your city. We're simulating an economy here, right? Like, what's required. How to manage a real economy, not a fake economy. Not one where a bunch of people just print money and give it to themselves, buy whatever they feel like, and think they're helping. That's not a real economy. That's end of society Roman times. That's how Roman people acted near the end of near the collapse of the society. So, as you know, I've been an entrepreneur. I've pitched to at least a dozen groups, and the majority of them reject the pitch on the principle that the company shouldn't get funded because it doesn't generate revenues. More than half of them have rejected it for that reason. I'm pitching to them to have money in order to generate revenues, but they won't lend the money because I don't generate revenues. So this made me realize that the people that evaluate pitches, my theory is they're not necessarily stupid people, but they're handpicked for being very average people. Now, if I was a billionaire and I wanted to invest in something, I would get the people screening the investments to be very middle. Like, I'd tell them they're brilliant. I'd say, "Oh yeah, you had success, running your restaurants or whatever industry you had success in." I'd convince them they're top tier businessmen, but really I'd be choosing them because they're just average. They have an average mind with average vision and average thinking capacity. And again, part of the evidence that that's really happening is that's circular logic, right? You can't reject something for a reason that could be solved had you approved it, right? So that's just circular logic. And these people, this is common. A lot of more than half of them were concerned because of that. It's like a revenue analysis that they just they don't want to take any risk whatsoever. They don't even actually understand how a lot of innovations work. They're that ignorant that these pitch reviewers typically are this ignorant that they don't understand that other take the internet, right? The internet was developed through government funding, right? But at some point, internet businesses came up and they completely forgot that fact. So the more ignorant you are sometimes to the history of things, the the better suited you're going to be for having the mind of the average consumer. Because the average consumer is going to, 100 IQ. They know what they see on TV. They know what they see on the internet. They know what they hear from other people. And that's why a pitch reviewer has to be as close to the average person as can be, right? So these guys, even these billionaires on Shark Tank, again, I don't think any of them are that smart. I don't think any of them are geniuses. Like not, I like they're probably smarter than the average early stage screening, like the low level screening kind of stuff I do. Like maybe if I pitch to them, like if I pitch to someone on Shark Tank, um, I would probably I might have a better chance with some of my business stuff because I think they might be a little smarter. But the lower tier programs, the ones that aren't on television, these are not the cream of the crop, so to speak. And I think that's by design because they want people who, again, they don't necessarily understand vision. They don't necessarily understand the technical value of things. They don't like. I developed electronic devices, and these people, if you gave them $10 million, couldn't have built what I built. They don't they wouldn't know who to hire. They wouldn't even know where to begin. And these are the ones assessing me for viability, right? The gatekeepers. And half of them, I'd say more than half of them just don't understand what they're doing. Maybe some of them do, and they're dishonest actors, and they just want to notify their billionaire loyalists. They notify them of good ideas, and then they steal the idea. That could be too, but generally, when you pitch to any of these incubators, they want you to be rich to begin with. It's not class mobility they're interested in. They're just interested in defending the interests of the capital, number one, right? And even if that's at your expense, but quite frankly, they just don't have a clue what they're doing. Like China's model is much better, where they actually have experts that understand an industry and they understand the real problem of capital, rather than I'd say almost everyone on a panel that reviews what gets funded for these incubators is a rich person to begin with. And therefore, they don't understand the principle that some people that pitch just don't have the money. They're just genuinely poor. That they can't even buy $100 graphic, right? They don't understand these basic things because they've never had to deal with these things because they grew up with some either financial privilege or a social privilege where they were popular enough, a bunch of people helped them out for free, right? And these people kind of dictate who gets to be rich, and I think that's a failing idea. That doesn't work. That China, I think, is demonstrating superior methodologies of that. Way less restrictive, way easier to get money in China. Like they're a free market, and the U.S., Canada, most Western nations aren't really. Privileged people who don't understand the economy, yet they control it. And then when there's many economic problems, uh, yeah, they ask for bailouts, but no, they shouldn't get bailed out. If you invest in stuff and you made bad decisions, you made your choices, you got to live in the street. That's You can't be bailed out. You picked the wrong thing to invest in. Now you got to live with it. Let's double check things in the game here. Just do a quick population count. 14. Yes, everyone still lives there. Are they getting any happier? Oh no, I don't know if 31%. Maybe. They keep complaining about the kindergarten. There's just not enough staff. Maybe we should add. Let's grab. You know what? Let's go to. I renamed one of the cities. I'll just quickly do this, just because. So I added a new U.S. city to the world, or I just renamed it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is the city? It's over here somewhere. What happened? Did it just get destroyed? What? There was a city here. Oh, here it is. Oh, there it is. Philadelphia. We're going to grab a few more people out of Philadelphia. It's a big city. It's close to New York. I got to have all the big cities represented. Soon it will be barren too. But I want to make sure that kindergarten has enough. Let's grab a few. Let's grab whoever we can find here. Move them to a proper communist city. Not one by some aristocrats that don't care about you. At some point, this will have to happen, right? In the real world, at some point, only socialist cities will remain. Let's get a few. Maybe they weren't able to get to work. Our police station is finished now, too. So this is probably a good place to get. Let's just check these buildings here. Oh, there's quite a few in that one. Let's put. I don't want to fill them out completely, but let's put this one. 80% capacity is reasonable in this one. They get unhappy when you transport them, but we need workers here. So maybe one will become a cop and start arresting some of these criminals. And we need some kindergarten teachers too. Let's just move all these people into that house first. I'm playing a video game here. This is like watching sports, but this is real life sports. This has more meaning than the average sporting event because we don't know if this is going to work. We don't know if society is going to survive. Okay, how can they be back to back again? How is this? Did the snow? Does the snow do this and it just causes them to get too close together? Let's increase this a bit then, because they shouldn't be that close. Let's go with 50 seconds. Like if this gets too long, this interval, I should see them parking here, so it can't be too long yet. I don't know how that variable time works. I'll have to look into that. I was having issues with the spacing. That's why I'm trying this fixed time, because the variable time didn't seem to be working, but it doesn't look like fixed time's working either. But look, there's just 4 arriving at once. So now I fully expect, well, this one will probably get out. Remember, he's got to get by this construction part here. And we should see a bunch of guys here just queued up. Like this guy can't even deliver his workers. Yeah, look, they just don't even get out. That's ridiculous. You know what I could do though? I'm going to send them back Like, did these ones both empty? That one didn't empty either. Just picked a guy up, went in a circle, didn't do anything. Let's, can I go to the heating plant? This guy now? Yeah, move to that stop. Send him to the heating plant. And then what we'll do is, we'll send this guy to the heating plant. We'll manually drop him off. Consistent heat, right? Oh yeah, look, see this work. This is why sometimes you micromanage things and you don't blab. See, down to one worker. Almost out of heat. Oh, just in time. Just in the nick of time. That more heat workers arrived. And then, okay, so this one now arrives. This is ridiculous. Okay. Okay, this... I'm going to send this guy back. I wonder how long they stay in the vans for. Like, did they stay in the vans for days before they finally go, oh, okay. It's a long time to get to work, but, you know, there's only so many things you can do. Someone else is controlling this van. What am I supposed to do? Okay, I'm going to make this guy turn around. I'm going to set this to his next stop. Yeah, we're going to go. Yes, he's going to go to. So by the time he gets there, all these guys will have done their shift. And at least I did something. And then I think it'll space out 50 seconds apart. Reduce the odds of this congestion. Well, look at that. We're almost out of rubles. If we stop building stuff out here in China, we might be able to repair debts. Okay, look at this. Okay, we have this ready. Let's move. I want to move one of these trucks back to it. This was supposed to be working at that one. Actually, both of these could probably go here. Let's just set the range of this. I want to make sure there's no snowplows that go down this road. Good, good. There's, like, we don't want them to go into San Francisco just yet. I wonder how the video's doing. I think, like, I've been able to last an hour the last 2 episodes. So I see it says 60 frames per second. I see my audio working. The stream seems to be working too. I don't see any, there's the normal amount of Twitch lag. Nothing weird yet. So that's good. I haven't said it. Maybe Bill Gates hasn't gotten angry. Like, I know sometimes I complain about things, and then Bill Gates gets on, and then he hacks into my machine and then causes it to lag up, and then the video is gone, and then you can't see my justifiable complaints about Bill Gates and well, you know what? Honestly, Bill Gates is probably a good guy. I think it's the people that he left the company with. They're just money grubbing sociopaths. I couldn't ever work. Like, when I was younger and I was a little more soft brained, I could have probably worked at Microsoft. Like, I had the knowledge to do it. And I would have been obedient enough when I was younger, because when you're younger, you're just, you're taught the world is an honest place and you work hard, you get ahead. But the truth is, that's not really how it works. So I don't know if I could do that nowadays. Okay, you know what? We need to give them a project here. They're running out of work. Let's see if we can give them a bit more highway out here. What's going on here? That's a rail line. Okay, let's give the workers in China some work over here. Actually, I don't know if we want to go this far. That's getting ridiculous. Like, we're running out of rubles. Maybe we go into San Francisco. We could also build this thing here too. You know what? Maybe we should. We'd have to build, I want to make sure, actually, I want to make sure we get the helicopter pad in here first. I don't want to commit to any of that yet. But actually, what we could do is we could build a little bit more highway here. So I said no snowplows. I said no. They're just ignoring the snowplows sign. Like, it's right there. It says no snowplows. Ah. Not the worst. I'll take that problem over lost video any day. See if we can go all the way around here. Let's build a little bit of highway. Why doesn't it? Okay, it seems to think that's a thing here. Let's just build a tiny little bit. Something for them to do. Like, it's already half done. Was it already being built? I don't know. Let's just assign construction office. We'll give Houston and we'll give China some work. They'll be done that pronto. And then we'll build this leg of highway here. I think I chose the right highway type. Yeah, just asphalt. If it needs like electrical components, that means I built like there'd be lights and stuff. We don't want lights on the highway. That's a little too luxurious. Okay, now they don't have any heat at all because they can't space them. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Can someone comment what's wrong with this schedule, with this route, with this line? You know, they go to the border, they pick up workers, they go to the heat plant, then they go to the end station to synchronize. But they don't seem to, like, they come all at once and then they don't come for long stretches. Again, it could be the conditions of the roads. You know, a blizzard could affect it. Maybe I just happen to see, okay, this is getting too busy. I think we'll move this bus. See, this bus isn't doing anything. Actually, we could leave them there. We could leave them there. There's a room for how many passengers here? 60 passengers. There's 22 doing nothing there. 33 doing nothing. It's not a big deal. So it's when you have like 50 or 60 idle workers, you start to worry a little bit. I know they could interfere with our heat worker lines, but that's a minor concern. It's not like we're at zero here, right? If this was like very, very low, I'd be a little bit more concerned. I'm more concerned if it gets too high. See, yeah, Mexico, that's pretty busy. The construction offices are building stuff like crazy. Ooh, we can build a police car now. Yeah, let's build we got to add this to our gas supply. Oh no, we're gonna have to take one off here. Oh, a bird just ran into a window here. Nice. Scared the crap out of me. Stupid bird. It's probably unconscious in the front. The cat. There's a cat. There's lots of cats in this neighborhood. That bird better wake up soon. It's yeah. I once found a dead bird. Like this is a bit of a sad story, but it looked like there was some fresh snow outside, and I could see it hopped. Like, it looked like it walked a long distance, and it froze and was dead in front of the door. And it looked like it was someone's pet budgie or something that got out of the house, and then it realized, uh-oh, and it froze to death. But I must have just caught it like moments after, and I just let it thaw out, but it never thawed out. It just stayed dead. It's a stupid story, but you know, maybe birds, they got bird brains. I thought maybe they could be slightly frozen and come back to life. But it had died like within a few hours before like I brought it into the house. And I just threw it in the garbage after. It's like, what am I gonna do with this little bird? Like, that's part of, you know, that's like running off the fiscal cliff, right? You if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to manage an economy, you That's what happens, right? That's nature. Let's just check this out. What do we got? 7, 14, 24. What's that? We gained one person in this house, but we lost one in this house. The same number of people. That's a good sign. Okay, I'm going to talk about a comedic bit shortly here. We're getting into the hour plus part. I got a few of them, actually. I got so many notes this episode. I'm going to have to do some of this stuff in the next one. But here, I just want to make sure everything's running smoothly, though, first. Check how we're doing for supplies. We got a lot of bricks here. I think we're going to start taking bricks out of... Oh, we're going to buy a police car. Yeah. Let's grab a police car here. So I tried to use regular cars. We need gas to go to it, and we don't have enough surplus gas stations. So we got to stop filling one of them. You know what? Let's take this one off here for now. Actually, no, we don't need... This one here, I think, is unnecessary. We'll let that one empty. And now, like, we only have 20 places we can deliver gas to in distribution offices. That would be a nice thing, like, in the expansion. Actually, you know what? Before I go into my comedy thing here, I want to talk about a couple of ideas for the expansion. Maybe do a little bit of a clip out of it. Because I love this game so much that I don't want anyone to even consider not making an expansion. I don't want the capitalists to have their way. This will be an indicator. We'll get some socially leaning investors if needed. But I hope they make sooner than later. They start developing the sequel. They made the original one 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I guess. I think it's ready to, ideas got to be thrown on the drawing board, and I want to give some ideas for Workers and Resources Chinese Republic, or whatever you want to call it. Chinese something. China's. I think it definitely has to have China as a theme. And you definitely get some, investors from China, obviously, if that was the theme, I imagine. But yeah, one of them is for distribution offices here to the research tree, right? Right now you can unlock the bigger, like the small and medium distribution office here. It's locked right now. But I think we need some technologies that increase, because even these here, all they do is give you more parking spots, right? But we need technology. Keep it at 20 by default. And I'd also like to see this be a continuation of, so when the expansion is purchased, a person, so this is two things here right off the bat. Old worlds that you've developed in the old game, use the same engine, use everything the same. You can load old, like Soviet Republic maps into the new game. But these buildings develop technologies in the tech tree. The tech tree needs to grow quite a bit, in my opinion. Because I found in the other games, I kind of got to the end, like near the end of the tech tree, and it was like, well, what? Like it needed more options. So increasing this beyond 20 office tasks, maybe 25, and then maybe cap it at 30 or something, right? Don't be silly. So in addition to technology that increases the distribution office options, the dispatching of construction offices, I think there needs to be a technology too. Improve dispatching. Okay, make this another technology. So this is currently right now when they find stuff to do, like the source destination doesn't have enough goods. It just picks up what it can, and then all the trucks sort of do a bunch of little loads. So I think the next tier of it needs to have some sort of planning to it, where it coordinates large pickups. Like it doesn't even bother doing a pickup. And if you think about it, what's the point of doing a pickup if it cannot finish the job, right? What is the point of it picking up anything? And it could work with the workers as well. Like in conjunction with. So, for example, here, let's say it went to pick up wood, but there wasn't enough wood to make a load, right? For where it needs to go. It wouldn't even bother. It would just stay parked in the. This would be tier two dispatching. Likewise, the workers wouldn't just blindly go out to the construction site if the goods aren't there. So just a little bit of AI improvement there once you research it, right? But then at tier three, what I'd like to see it do is mix goods. So when it needs bricks, steel, and wood, it knows how to pick up all three on at least on open haul trucks. And I know in real life you could have dividers in these kind of trucks. Like maybe you can have two types of aggregates mixed up. Okay, and obviously having mixed aggregate facilities too, I think is something, because in real life I've been to aggregate supply yards and they got all kinds of aggregate. They got, they don't necessarily have everything. Like obviously uranium wasn't there, but they three or four of these things would be present at most aggregate sites. So, but again, you could make that a technology. So by default, it can't do that. Then later on, you research it in the tech tree, you can, and that adds so much. Like computationally speaking, that's not hard to do, but it adds a lot of fun to it. So that's just a few more suggestions for the sequel to this game here. There was some other things with worker tiers I want to talk about, but it's more of a thought experiment than practical suggestions. So we'll do that later. Let's do the comedy stuff, in about a little bit later too. I got to get back to the game here. Got to keep an eye on things. How are we doing for coal? Well, we got plenty of coal. Coal staying in there. This construction office isn't too busy, but that might be good. That might be a good thing. Because we don't want to be spending too much money. Oh, we need some judges here. Okay, hold on here. Hold on. We've got to make a house here. The sort of the law house. We got to make a law house. Where are they gonna? Okay, right there. Right there is a good spot. Okay, we're gonna make it so that we're gonna buy some immigrants. How many judges do you think we need? Let's buy some. Yeah, experts, educated. I don't think you can be a judge without education. So we'll do that, and we're gonna set that to there, and there. Okay. I think they mostly have to go to the courthouse. So, we'll see. We'll see if that adds some police op. We don't have any cop cars. Okay, we are getting gas delivered to it, so gas will show up shortly. But we need a police car. Let's see if I don't know what the difference is between police cars. Yeah, I tried assigning one of our other cars. Okay, why don't? Okay, surely there's work to be done. Surely there's work to be done. We can't have this many idle workers. We can have idle other things, but we can't have idle workers. Let's see if there's projects that they should be working on. Oh, you know what they should be working on? Actually, the prison. And this here. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this house. Oh, there's a house here. Okay, hold on. There's a whole bunch of things we got to deal with here at once. You got to pay attention to your game, right? You don't pay attention, things fall apart. I don't think we're going to bother with the better universities just yet. But I do think we're going to do something that... Okay, we're running out of money here too. Let's get these workers busy. Okay, I think we're going to start working on our food plant. This was supposed... I was considering doing this in the next episode, but maybe it'll be ready by the next episode. So let's get them working here. And we'll give them that. That, yeah, all these workers, they got to be doing something. They can't have that many idle workers. Okay, we got some judges here. I wonder if they're catching criminals. There's no prison ready, though. We should probably have the prison high priority. Because if our... That went a little faster than I thought. But, okay, let's do that. Let's get a police car. Let's get a police car. Now, let's see if there's any American ones. I don't think we're going to get an American one. Let's see. $2,000. That's a lot of money. That's a used one for 2,000. What do they cost new? Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive. That's a 4-passenger police car. Rubles are still preferred to spend. Let's see what we got for police cars here. We don't have any used ones. And let's see what we got here. Oh, we got quite a few. Yeah, these are a little bit more affordable. So we'll probably just buy. Let's see if we got any used ones. I think I'll buy a couple of new ones. They're not super expensive, and then we can just send them directly to LAPD here. All right, rubles, and let's have a look here. This one's a new one. 4 passengers. This one's... Oh, that one's cheap. I like the cheapness of it. You can't even go that fast. Okay, if you can't even reach the top speed, but I like the cheapness of this one. Let's go with 2 of these. Yeah, it's a blue car. We want a couple of blue ones. We'll see how busy they are. If they're out driving constantly, we'll add more. And just like anything, like look at the hospital. We only got 1 ambulance, right? Is it even being used? No, it's not even being used. 1 is more than what we need. So there should be getting some gas delivered. Okay, yeah, you know exactly. There we go. There's some gas getting delivered, and we do have a police officer now. Just we don't have. I'm just gonna leave the crimes for default. I don't know how much this is affecting happiness, but we'll have a look here. Population. Oh, we lost some people. Yeah, this had 10 people in it. We're down to 22. Oh, winter's almost over. We've almost survived winter. I think the FP, my stream looks good too. So that's a good sign. See if we can survive without FPS issues. Survive FPS. Okay, here's one of the ideas I have for a comedic bit. Is as time goes on, I guess it's on topic of the police too. So I know, you know, people talk about defunding the police and all that. And I know it's a hard job, right? But there's probably at some point in our history, we're going to have some police androids, you know, like Robocop. Eventually. Eventually, Robocop will be real. And Robocop's going to be so good. And regular cops are going to get jealous of Robocop because he's so good at being like, you know, you think about it. Why do you think they tried to kill Robocop? The other cops were because he's, you know, he's taking their jobs. He's making them look bad. Of course they want to get rid of him. So in order to deal with that in the future, with the inevitable problems of having android police, you've seen, you know, Futurama with the you know, the criminal bots. That's the next thing. So for police robots to be exceptionally good, they're going to have to develop robot criminals too. We're going to have to develop in order for the economy to work properly because there's no other solution. We can't do UBI. We can't make 2-day work weeks for police. No, you got to work extra time, lots of hours, because getting paid the same amount for working 2-3 days a week. No, that would involve That's too crazy. That's too crazy. That's uh, that's too in the future. So we have to deliberately not have 2 or 3 days of work weeks for cops. We've got to keep it at 40-hour work weeks or 60-hour work weeks. And if crime gets too low, we got to create crime bots to ensure everything works in society. Keep it balanced. Robots committing all kinds of crimes, right? Every type of crime, and we'd have to develop specialized robots for the specialized criminal bots. Just to keep things. Again, this is based on the Futurama concept of a crime bot. It's like why would you make a crime bot? Why would you have like a stab bot? What's the point of that? It's to keep jobs for the police robots and or the real police. I guess there'll be police robot technicians in the future. But yeah, that's I think the solution to the Robocop problem, right? And again, this show is about money, and it does tell you, look at this. Some people are leaving. They're not like. Why don't they complain? 5% happiness. That's not good. That's definitely gone down. But there's still some left. How are we doing for heat management? Let's see here. Maybe the crimes become a bit of an issue. Oh, this is done. This is done. Our technical office for. Let's use Mexico for this one because it's kind of on the perimeter. All right, we could start moving vehicles into this. This will solve a lot of problems because we were short on technical offices. We've been way too distribution and technical offices. We've been having issues with. So this is good. This is a big one. It needs gas too. Again, we don't want to plow mud roads. That's a terrible idea. Oh, I hear the fan kicking in. The computer fan. We'll see if the FPS is an issue here. We made it 90 minutes. Maybe I'll be less entertaining at this point if the FPS gets stuttery. I'm watching the stream. It looks kind of smooth though. Again, I've also lowered the resolution to the lowest graphic setting. So we'll see how that works. But we need to also bring gas here. And we will add a new 20th item here. And that will be our new technical office. Would have been nice to have this at the start of winter. We're almost done with the snow plowing. Almost done. We still got to keep heat for a while because it still can be cold without snow. This technical office will make sure next winter is way smoother. Like all these roads, we'll have 1 or 2 more snow plows. We'll see what the damage is here. We'll see what the damage for population is. Yeah, population went down a bit, but not too crazy. We do have... let's see how our prison's doing here. Oh, we got some tutors here. Oh, they're taking care of kids. Well, we got to add the supplies for the kids in the orphanage too. Things are getting done here. They're getting more and more things. So we'll add this here. And that now they can get food, clothing, and meat. Okay, and the prison, that's very high priority. And let's see here. Oh, this had like 20 people at the start of winter. Down to 7, but not completely abandoned. We're 5 days from the end of winter. By the way, I set up 2 bus routes. One of them just going back and forth across the city in case they couldn't get to church. And there's another one that's going in a loop around the city. And it's reaching other things. So we'll see. Just the buses had nothing better to do, really. But once winter comes to an end, we're going to slowly get back to working on things here. So I want to just check. We were thinking, yeah, we've got 114 tons of bricks. Let's switch this over to bricks coming from here. Because we got our own bricks again. I don't think we have any gravel, though. Imagine we're still short. Yeah, 66 tons of gravel. There's not enough in the coffers to... we got to get that from the border. And this technical office, let's make the range a little bit more. Actually, you know what? That's good. 1,000 meters. I think that's smart to do 1,000 meters. Like, there's no point bringing snowplows now. Winter ends on February 22nd. Let's do a quick census count here. Our population's technically the lowest it's ever been. But the city itself, say 9582, close enough. The city itself is more populated than it was before. It's not completely empty. We have some survivors. Yeah, look at that. We got 6, 12, 17, 18. Yeah, there used to be 25 down to 18. I think we've, for the most part, survived winter. They're not, like, crazy stuff's not happening. No complaints in the buildings. Well, they just keep complaining about the kindergartens, but I don't know. Maybe we just don't have enough educated people yet. We need this monument. We got to start making them loyal, too. Especially, like, you can start making rules where... And I'll maybe do that with a few houses. You know, right now we can't be too picky on loyalty. But eventually we can. Because we don't... Like, eventually we want to have lots of happy, loyal people. That's sort of the idea of this. They've fled to other countries in the past, but not so bad this year. Look at that. There's so many workers here. You know what? Let's I'm going to, how fast is this bus? I'm going to send this, no, that bus can stay there. Next time I catch a ZIL bus. Are there any ZIL buses in here? Yes, there is. Where's this bus going to? It's fixing a house. Why is it fixing a house? I guess they live in the houses. Oh, well, we'll just let it do that. Whatever. That's strange. It's there. Why is it getting... Oh, they're getting it from the Mexican customs house. That's why. Okay, there's the end of winter. Okay, it was 9579. I wrote the wrong number, but who cares? It's close enough. I don't want to change it. It's within 3. Yeah, that's our lowest population ever, but the previous lowest was 9586. For some reason, it went up and down. It went up in 1965. I don't know why. Maybe a random event. We still need some heat, though. Like, it's still -1. But this should be steady heat now. Like, we can't blame the icy roads for things. And you know what? We can start moving our snowplows around here. And actually, the main intent of this technical office is for snowplows. I'll keep one in the other ones. This one's going to be more for garbage. Like, technical offices in this area are going to be focused on removing garbage. Anything that's close to 50%, now's the time to do repairs. Once it gets a little warmer, we'll reschedule our workers to no longer go to the heating facility. They kept enough people alive. Again, this is the hardest winter. Next winter is going to be much easier. It's almost painful. It's almost painful to do this right now. We haven't done this yet. I usually don't record the winters, and I'm pretty sure you won't see next winter. So quite often the cleanup of like spring cleanup is kind of ignored. But not in this episode. You get to see a little bit of it. You know, you got to see a bit of something different every episode. And I'm going to slowly start switching over our buses. See, now they're going to be spaced more evenly. So this one, I'm going to start switching them over. Is this one empty? Okay, this one's proper empty. So now I think I can just assign a route here to Mexican workers. Let's just see if we can do that. Can we just assign it to that so it becomes that? Yeah. So now this is doing Mexican worker jobs. And this will slowly grow our business here. No one's buying boards anymore. We should probably sell some of these boards. So they're wasting money. If we get an open haul truck, let's start selling some of the boards. What's this here? Ooh, I think these are that's not a bad fire truck. We haven't had too many fire issues, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Let's grab the next one here and we'll send it to Mexican workers too. Like in the future, our regular bus routes are just going to take care of all this. We won't be using immigrants to keep our city heated, right? It's just because it's year one survival. We don't have the resources to survive winter, so we rely on these immigrants. This one has a new duty. Oh, that's interesting. And this immediately realized, oh no, this guy's not in the route, and then he jumped in right away. That's kind of cool. So maybe it is sort of working. I think it might be the snowplow issues, but I don't know whether the snowplows just ignore the sign. I don't know why that is. It's like, what's the point of the sign if they just ignore it? Eventually we'll have a bridge here, right? This is just our cheap option. Because we don't have much money. But eventually we'll put a bridge in here. How are we doing? Okay, the stream looks okay. I don't see any latency in the stream, so that must mean the recording's doing good. But this fan is definitely cooling stuff off. Again, a free hack. It actually reminds me of a project for the company I used to work for. We had the official build machine was so specific that you never wanted to change it, and we used to just a regular fan, an oscillating fan, like not oscillating but just focused on the computer, and we relied on it to do the builds. It was such a crazy and this is a serious company, multi-million-dollar. It had the money. We had very expensive computers, but the final build machine was so like you did not. It was so heavily controlled that it was better to simply put a fan on it and not have to do a new machine. Like while you're servicing software, like serious software in like casinos, frankly. Okay, so it was highly regulated, controlled stuff, and we used a fan just to do the releases. Maybe if there's someone that I know that happens to watch this show, they'll probably be laughing about that story because they're like, oh yeah, I remember that fan. I used to work for a tech company for 15 plus years, and 10 years as an entrepreneur, wasting my time. It's only a few years old, this machine, but and I'll zoom in, I'll show you where the heat, like you can tell it's hot. Like you put your hand near that part of the laptop and you're like, holy crap, it's really hot. Right now, not nearly as bad. The area, it's able to dissipate heat. It doesn't even, the fan's barely even kicking in on the laptop. Because it has to kick in a little bit, but then the other fan pulls all the envelope heat from the machine away, and then it shuts off real quick. And that's heat management. Oh, I forgot to, when I was talking about my ideas for the sequel, I wanted to pretend, and maybe if someone from Hooded Horse sees this, if they think it's funny, let me know. Eventually someone who develops the game's got to comment on this show. One thing I'd like to do, and again, I'm going to cover a lot of games, so I can't take this too seriously, but I'd like to pretend I'm a project manager with developing the sequel, just as a comedic bit. Just pretend that I've been deputized, and maybe there's some banter goes on where they say, no, you're not a project manager, and I change the topic or something like that. I do other games too, so I will be doing other games on this channel, so you got to keep that in mind too. I'm not I'm not sponsored by anyone here. I'm just, this is an entertainment show, number one. If it does not entertain, I'm not trying to sell you products. In fact, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to tell you to pick a very good video game and play it to death. That's what I'm telling you to do. Don't buy other stuff. But I'd like to pretend, and just some of the stories that could, create. So we'll see about that. But I could have mixed that in with some of the ideas I had earlier. Say, here's some of the things we're going to do, just as a joke, and just see how people react, right? Because from what I've been following up, and from what I can tell, there's nothing concrete. But again, that's behind closed doors, right? Who knows what's actually going on? We should start dragging some people back in. Let's grab a few people. We don't want to run out. Like, we need enough people to service the city, right? And see how our police cars are doing. Where are they? They're both parked. So, okay. And they're processing crime. Not enough judges. Here. Yeah, I want to do something real quick on this house here. I want to make it so that, okay, because they're assigned to the courthouse, I'm going to say, uneducated, they cannot live there. It's the one rule. You have to be educated to be a judge. This one here, yeah, okay, so okay, we got both levels here. Let's say only university. Only university. Okay, and we have one with our college too, I believe. Yeah. So this one's going to say only university. That's not to say you can't have educated people in the other buildings. It's just these specific houses, because this one's assigned to the university, this one's assigned to the courthouse, and then just these regular slobs can, like, they're processing cases. I don't know where they go for jail. From what I understand, they like to have space in the buildings, right? And once it gets a little bit warmer, I'll add a few more people. And it looks like we've survived the winter, sort of. It's there are people living here, right? Yeah, we don't have enough workers for the cement factory, for the concrete plant. Let's grab a few more, actually. They're still getting their heat. They don't really have much justifiable reason to complain. We're not gonna. I like to fully empty cities one at a time, because then I remember where I'm at, sort of, even though I don't remember exactly which house I've emptied. Let's put them in this house here, in the nice new house that we built. That should ensure we have enough people working at the concrete plant. Let's see if there's any buses here. Okay, this one can immediately go to the Canadian border, because we got all these workers queued up. They're not doing anything. You got to deal with it. It's an emergency. If you ever raided in World of Warcraft, sometimes you got to ad hoc things. It's there's a plan you have, and then you look at the situation and go, oh, the plan's falling apart. What can we do now? I've played multiple characters. I used to have a warlock, who's kind of a famous warlock. I was the best warlock on the server. When I went into Battlegrounds, I was 1, 2, or 3 in kills every single game. If I was anywhere out of the top 3, that was very unusual. But I also had alts, and I remember once I was playing my tank, who was an off tank, and I was dealing with whelps and onyxia, and the main tank died. And I wasn't super fire resistant, but I had shield wall ready. I had a lot of cooldowns ready, and the main tank died at like 10% left on onyxia, and I jumped in, and most of the raid died, but we killed that boss. It was like 5 of us left with the off tank, and that wasn't planned. That was, when your main tank dies, it's and I lived to the end. Again, having the shield wall was nice. I had every cooldown available. I like, frankly, I was a pretty decently geared um, off tank. Like I wasn't just, I was close to being the main tank. So it was, you know, I was working on it long enough. I played a lot of Warcraft, and um, that was an example of a scenario where, um, yeah, that was not planned. The whelps, you know, if you had a whelp that was on you, you had to deal with it at that point. I would try to taunt the whelps that got loose. So I'm tanking a Nixia, and it's hard to see because the dragon's right in your face. And I'm like, I'm grabbing, if I can taunt one of the whelps, great. And they go towards me, and DPS can finish them off. But I was multitasking, and I think there was just five of us left in the end. Like, it wasn't the best of scenarios. When your main tank dies with 10% left to go on Oni, that can be a problem. I've had a few other scenarios where, as an off tank, I took over and we killed it, but Anixia is one of the more famous fights. Actually, the Illidan, I did that too, but we didn't kill Illidan in the end. I was taunting, I was tanking the fire elementals, and I got us through that phase. But at that point, we wiped later anyways, so it was not as interesting a story. But well, I mean, I tanked the fire elementals, but the other guy who was tanking the other fire elemental, I think was the main tank, died. And I was like, well, I got to tank both for a second. And I did for a few seconds, but then I died once both of them were on me. That was very, very difficult tanking. I had my keyboard backwards and my camera was reverse locked backwards. That was tricky. But that Anexia one there, sometimes you just got to adapt. Sometimes you got too many foreign workers and you got to bring in more ZIL buses to solve the problem, right? The last topic I want to talk about before we end the show is the problem of Karenism in the world. And Karenism is propaganda. It's been sold to you. Marketing. You've been marketed your whole life to be a Karen, whether you're male or a female. There's a lot of male Karens out there too. Okay. Most of the males I know are some degree Karenistic, and almost all the women I know are full Karens. My mom's a Karen. Like people who go in and they're like, oh, I'd like to have two. I hope my mom's not listening to this. She might watch the show now and then. We'll see. I don't know if she's watching the show, but I want to have, half a cup of coffee with the cream delivered in 20 minutes, and I want the sugar. I don't want one and a half packets of sugar, and I want a separate cup of water to dilute my coffee. Like, this is Karenism, okay? Anyone who is picky, you go to a restaurant, you want guys I know, I go out for wings with guys, and they're like, I'd like to have this delivered at this point. You're a male Karen. I'm just letting you know, you're a male Karen. I say, I want the most basic thing. I'll copy someone else's order just to make it simple because I just want food, okay? I'm not Karenistic. But propaganda teaches you to be Karenistic. You watch too much television, they encourage it because it encourages consumerism. Karens are, super consumers. That's what a Karen is. They want to waste your time and they want to waste resources. And because they got some indirect form of white collar welfare in their life, like somewhere along the lines, they're getting paid more money than they probably ought to be getting paid. Because of that, Karenism is a bit of a problem in society, and we've got to stop it. And the first step of stopping Karenism is to admit you're a Karen, admit you have a problem. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to solve this problem. The Karenism will get out of control, and we're going to run out of resources, and the rules are going to get stupider and stupider, and no one gives a crap about. Think about the micro details in previous generations of things that were required to make you happy. You didn't have, 150 years ago, an automobile didn't even exist. You lived in the same bloody shack your whole life, and you were lucky if you'd have heat and food. That was it. You want everything else to be soap opera high quality? Yeah, because you watch too many soap operas nowadays, right? Or whatever you watch. Um, all these TV shows that, oh, you don't have this, you don't have avocado toast, therefore you're not upper class, and therefore you shouldn't get the same kind of money I get. But the truth is, and this is the sad part about Karenism, there's a lot of poor Karens out there too who are trying to be Karens, and they don't have much money, and they're going to end up, you're going to have to stop being a Karen for financial reasons eventually. But the media is responsible for this to a certain degree, and I think it has to stop. I think it's a major problem, Karenism. It's especially in Western nations. Why do you think we have all these issues in politics and these leaders that are clued out? Right? They don't address any real issues because you're so busy being a Karen, you don't even know what the real issues are. You don't even know, how your taxes they go to indirectly to private individuals, to billionaires through their companies, right? Through government contracts. How do you think these billionaires got rich? It's because they promote consumeristic Karenism and distract you from the fact they're taking all the money while you're complaining about the amount of extra spice in your latte. It's ridiculous. So we got to put an end to this Karenism. We got to start an anti-Karenism movement. It's ridiculous. The whole nation's gonna collapse thanks to it. It's a bit of a joke, but it's also somewhat true that I'm sick of it. When I see Karenistic behavior, I sometimes will audibly sigh and just go, ugh. Well, you're wasting. My order is going to be delivered or delayed because you are just too picky. Like, if I even get the wrong thing delivered to me, I'll say I'll take it. Can you? If it's something it's acceptable. If I'm okay, I just want food. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. Okay, it might not be what I ordered, but if it's there right now, it's better than waiting 20 minutes for something that I might think is better. I just don't care. I'm a bachelor. That's how I survive. I'm not that picky. So I think, in closing, as we wind up this episode, let's spend some time and consider the cost of Karenism to society, and let's make a change for the better. All right, I think we're going to wind up the episode here. We've done well. Everything's looking. We're switching over. It'll be a year. Probably I'll go through the next winter. We'll have more people in here. We survived. We did survive it. We this isn't empty. We lost some people, but it's going to be even better next year. Now we have police. We're going to have a prison soon. That'll get done offline, and I think we're looking good. I'm not super concerned about the fiscal cliff just yet, right? We have enough things going on here that I think we might be able to survive. And bit of a spoiler, this food factory, this is part of the next episode. We're gonna be see these Canadian workers. We've been grabbing them with our Zeal buses, from the Canada Construction. They're working on food plants. So bit of a spoiler for the next episode. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave comments below, dump on any topic, make suggestions. Otherwise, leave a like if you liked it. Tell others about the show if you think it's entertaining. If you can last 2 hours of this nonsense, if it's just strangely something you can listen to. It is background noise, right? It's, the idea is to be background noise at a certain point. That's get those long view times. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode.